So this is.
Oh wow, we're going straight into this.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so this is gonna kind of. All right, so basically, we're gonna react to the latest police shooting. So this was a big news. It seems like there's one like every 2 weeks or whatever, but this was Jacob Blake. So yeah, we'll watch this real quick, and then if you want to pause it, just let me know.
Okay.
It's a short video. All right, so the police. All right, so let me just set the stage here, for you and for people for listening, because we have some people just listening to audio. So the police were called because this guy. What's interesting is that the police were called by the girlfriend, baby mama of this guy, who wasn't supposed to be there. Like they have like domestic problems or whatever, and they're not together, but they have kids together. The kids were in the car, and basically he went and wasn't really listening to the police orders, and obviously in the video you see he's like heading to the car. I mean, the police are yelling at him. Yeah, the police are basically yelling at him to like stop, and it's like you don't know what he's reaching for, and then this happens. And I think that's the girlfriend. And it's always fucked up situations too, because like the person who calls the police, it's like, all right guys, that's the last thing I wanted to happen, but and it's fucked up too, because now this cop's life is ruined or whatever, and also fucked up about this guy. He actually survived. Usually that the
Jacob Blake survived?
Yeah, he survived. So he was shot 7 times. So people who are listening, I'm explaining this because we have some people who just listen to the audio. Mm-hmm. He was shot 7 times in the back, and he wasn't listening to police orders, and he was shot 7 times, and he's actually paralyzed from the waist down now.
Oh wow!
And actually, so he survived, but he's fucking paralyzed.
Right.
So yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Yeah. So this is another one of the police shootings. Like, this has been like such a crazy topic this year, and I mean, what do you think about the video? Before we're gonna segue into something here in a moment.
I mean, that's a tough one. Like, you have to put yourself in both people's shoes. The cop's shoes and the guy's shoes. Like, okay.
So really quick, so save your thought. A lot of people, there's so much fucking debate online, and like people arguing back and forth. So we'll break this down. So a lot of people are saying like, why isn't he just listening to the police? What is he doing? And people are like blaming the police, okay, so some people are like, why did the guy do that? Like, he's reaching for something. Like, in those situations, you just have to listen to the cops. Like, okay, like, they have guns. If I'm reaching for something, they don't know what I'm reaching for. And it did show that I don't know if he was reaching for a knife or if he had the knife on him already, but they found a knife on him. He had a knife. And you have a lot of people now criticizing the police. Like, what are you guys doing? You don't know how to arrest someone. You should use a taser. But there's other videos, too, where cops just use a taser, and then the guy is either drugged out and like on adrenaline, and he just like doesn't like feel the taser and starts like shooting or like hacking at the police officer.
Right.
So then you have all these cops like scared to do their jobs and like afraid for their lives and shit, and it's like, I don't know, dude. Like, I just think it's like I never want to be a cop. Like, my wife, she's like, her dream is to like not her dream anymore, I guess, but I don't know, but like when she was younger, she always wanted to be a cop.
Oh, really?
And when we got together, I'm like, no, I will.
Wow, that's
I will bust my head. Yeah, she always wanted to be a cop.
I would never have thought that.
I know, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so I talk to her now, and it's like, I don't care if you're with me. We're gonna have a kid together. You're not gonna be a cop. Like, it's just getting so worse.
What? You can't let her dream die.
I can.
My gosh.
No, I'm just saying, like, dude, like, I'll do whatever. Like, I'll help you get something else. Like, let's find another passion. I need my fucking, mother of my children to stay around. Like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, and you have to respect that about cops. Like, who knows if they're gonna go home, because there's like, what if this was a different situation? And I'm not saying what they did was okay. I don't know. This is all from the context of someone's phone. We don't know what they're saying. We don't know his attitude toward them. We don't know anything. This is from a window from a guy in an apartment across the street.
Yeah, he's filming on his phone, and I feel like the other cases, like, I don't know if there's body cam footage, but they might release body cam footage. But whatever your opinion is on this, like, I just want your reaction on, like, the whole, like, debate about it. Like, it's, you kind of, like, you're like, you live under a rock and you just go to the gym, work, hang out with friends or whatever. But if you go online, like, this has been crazy debate. If you go on Facebook, people are fighting.
100%. Like, you see both sides of it where it's like, he shouldn't have been reaching for Okay, I agree with, like, some things, but there's so much missing information, or, like, we don't know, like, if we were that cop, what would we have done? Like, honestly, like, and you're thinking, like, this guy's going for his gun. Like, you have so little time to think. What if that guy was going for a gun?
Yeah.
And he just turned around, blasted those two cops. Or, let's say, like, why would he do that in the first place? Why would you go back into your car? The point is, like, we don't know how much de-escalation, which is, I think, the main thing that, like, okay, good. You already know you're coming to a domestic issue.
It's already a hostile situation.
Right.
You have
where it's like, you need to just get there and be like, okay, everybody, look, we're not here to arrest anybody. We're just here because you called. What's going on? Like, let's de-escalate. Like, that's it. Like, once you get into the whole, like, but we can't tell what happened with that part. And why is he walking to his car, ignoring a bunch of cops? Then on the other side, why are these cops letting him get that far? There's 3 cops in this frame right here. Like, 4. They could have all tackled him and been like, "Whoa, calm down. Like, I'm sorry, we have to detain you. We don't know what you're reaching for in your car." Like,
it's tough, and I get what you're saying. Like, and that's what so many people are doing. Like, they're kind of like, the term, like, armchair quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're pretty much like being like armchair quarterback.
Basically,
like,
what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah. But so many people are doing that online. Like, oh, you should have done this. You should have done that. You just want to shoot him.
Right.
And then they get these, like, political, racial thing. It's like, oh, you just shot him because he's black, and if he was white. Which I did see a fucked up video today. I don't know why I saw it today. Like, it just popped up on this Reddit subreddit I was looking on today. It was in Arizona, where it's a really fucked up situation, where a white guy, so a couple, like, they live in an apartment, right? And the cops were called on them for, like, a domestic violence situation because this like neighbor thought they were fighting. So the cops show up, and I can show you the video later. I don't want to watch it on the podcast. It's just kind of like an aside, but it happened back in May, and they were they show up at the apartment, and it's like 2:00 in the morning, right? So this guy hears there's 2 cops. It's all body cam footage. The 2 cops are knocking on the door. They're like, "Okay, police, open up, police." And I don't know if you heard them, but he shows up at the door with a gun, right? Which you can kind of like, like, if someone's knocking at my door at 2:00 in the morning, would you show up at your door with a gun? I know you have guns. So. Probably not, right? Or would you?
No, I have before.
You have before?
Yeah.
Like every time, or like at night? Like,
no, when somebody was banging on my door really hard one time, I was like, "Whoa, what is going on?" Like, it sounded like they were trying to beat my door down.
Break in.
Yeah. Like,
and then what happened? Like, what was it?
It was one of my friends being a dumbass. I was
Damn.
like, dude,
and you went to the door with a gun?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it just made me think about it. Like, wow, should you really do that? Because he basically opened the door. He had a handgun in his hand, And then, like, he kind of reacted weird, like, they don't know. And then the cops just unloaded on him. And they killed him. And then the girlfriend shows up crying, like, oh, my God, what are you doing? Crying. It was like...
I mean, that's...
It was a horrible video. And then they're, like, talking to her. And the dude is literally dying in front of her. Like, you can hear him, like, like, breathing. It's, like, a really bad video. And then the girlfriend is like, what are you guys doing? What the fuck? And, like, all the neighbors are coming out. And they're like... We had a neighbor call. It was like a domestic violence situation. Like, you guys were arguing. He's like, no, we were making food together and we were playing PlayStation. Like, maybe we made too much noise. Like, oh, like, it was such a...
Oh, my God.
Yeah, dude.
That's fucked up.
It was a fucked up situation where the cops just unloaded on the guy. But it's like a catch-22. You don't know who you should agree with. Like, are the cops...
Okay, well, I'll tell you this much. When I answered the door... I wasn't openly showing my fucking gun. Like, I'm not a dumbass. Like, I don't want to freak out whoever I'm opening the door to. Like, hey, who the fuck is... Like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, I checked the peephole. I was like, oh, it's my friend. And I, like, put it... But even when I opened the door, I wasn't showing my gun.
Right.
Like, oh, my God, I almost blasted you, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't do that, especially, like, okay, maybe he didn't have a peephole. Maybe he just opens the door a little bit without showing his gun and be like, oh, hey, what's going on?
Right.
And be like, okay, I'm going to let... Like, I carry guns a lot. I've been pulled over a lot. I have dealt with cops where they have seen my gun or whatever. And I literally am just... I de-escalate. I'm like, whoa, sorry.
You just tell them right away.
I tell them, like, if I get pulled over, I tell them, hey, listen, I'll be upfront with you. I have a gun. Like, it's in my holster or it's in my glove box or whatever.
Sure.
Or I'll be, you know... Like, one time I got pulled over and they didn't even give me time. I was on my motorcycle and it was sticking out of my shirt.
Damn.
And the cop, like, literally reached down and put his hand over it so that I couldn't pull it out.
Right.
And he was like, whoa, you're fucking not concealing your weapon, blah, blah, all this stuff. And I was like... yeah, sorry, I'm on my motorcycle, like, de-escalate. Like, he was obviously he was being a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
Like, about it, and I was like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. Like, it must have been the wind, blew my shirt up or something. Obviously I didn't mean to do that. Well, we get calls all the time from people like you, because blah, blah. And it's just
really?
like, oh, I'm really sorry. I de-escalate, like, and then everybody chills the fuck out.
It's already a tense situation.
Exactly. Especially if they see that you have a gun.
And you can't, like, match the energy. Like, if you're in that situation, like, I'm sure there's, like, some douchebag guys, like, boneheaded guys are like, don't tell me what to do. Like, already, it's like, you can't do that. Like, if there's a gun involved.
This is America. I can carry my gun and fuck you, blah, blah. Yeah, it's like, fuck off, dude. Like,
right. But what's interesting, like I said, dude, it's been so crazy with like the whole debates. Like, I feel like this whole year has been crazy. It's an election year. They had the whole protest, the Black Lives Matter thing. This happened in May. There was no...
This?
No, not this. This recently happened. But so this is the contrast. It was, like, clearly a fucked up situation. And, you know, I was just thinking, like, dude, imagine if this guy was black. It was a white guy. Mm-hmm. It was, like, a white guy with ginger hair. So it's like, yeah, because he was white, had no media coverage, no one talked about it. It's literally, I found it on Reddit. Like, it was a small story in Arizona that if you follow, like, you know, just internet stuff, it was only on the internet. However, if that dude was black... How much money would you bet where it would be like a huge story, like, oh my God?
I mean, everything has just become a political agenda.
Racial, yeah.
It's all political, like, fuck Trump, blah, blah, whatever. Like, that whole movement is going toward that, like, I mean, what can you say?
Yeah. So...
We don't want to get into politics, but...
I mean, we are talking... It's not even politics, it's just current events. It's what's happening now that you can't even avoid it anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Let me just... Yeah, it's... Yeah, so like I said, it's been such a huge debate. Like, if you side with the cops, you're a racist, you're a Trump supporter. You know, if you're against what the cops did, you're a socialist, you're Antifa, you're a Black Lives Matter supporter, whatever. It's like everything is so tense right now. And so...
There's no right or wrong in this video. Both parties fucked up, and that's how that guy's dead. There's no like.
Well, he didn't die. But
I mean, that guy.
Usually they die.
Right. I'm surprised. I didn't know he was alive.
He
seen
survived.
videos of it, but
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Both sides fucked up. Like, obviously, I've had a ton of run-ins with the. I haven't had a ton of run-ins with the cops, but I've had like some tense situations or whatever, and I'm still alive. Not because I'm white, but because I just explained to you, I de-escalate when I have to deal with cops or whatever. 'Cause I have cop friends, and I don't dislike cops, but I have also dealt with like asshole cops, and it's just like always de-escalate, because maybe there is some cops that just want to blast some people, or but we don't know what happened in this situation.
Right. And that's the problem too. Like you can't even look at it subjectively, because it's like it's literally become like a debate, and it's become like a war of like whatever you believe. So because of this, like